hard at work. This is not a confessional. You're not going to come on and say, I was wrong about Trump. I burned the white dude for Harris hat. Are you still sticking with Harris?
Listen, I prefer that Kamala Harris for president right now. And honestly, I think a lot of Americans agree with me. Fox News' own polling has Donald Trump's approval rating cratering. He's negative 30% on the inflation. I think people are awfully frustrated with the leadership they're getting right now. Doesn't mean.
All right, folks. So that is Mike Nellis, Democratic strategist, humiliating MAGA Fox News host Jesse Waters on his own show with his own polling. And we have to talk about it because this interview gets pretty damn good. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, those of you who watch this channel are probably at least a little familiar with Mike because he's a frequent guest on Piers Morgan Uncensored. We cover a lot of Piers. He's a very good debater. He's very funny. He's a ball buster and ruthless in conversation, which I love. He's not afraid to go on, pro-Trump programs like Piers Morgan Uncensored and even far more openly MAGA programs like Jesse Waters Primetime. And he handles himself very, very well. So we're going to play a longer clip here of that exchange, of which what you just saw was a brief snippet, and then another clip as well. But again, this is a Democratic strategist using Fox's own polling to humiliate Trump and ultimately, therefore, Jesse Waters himself on Waters' own show. You got to admire the chutzpah.
This is not a confessional. You're not going to come on and say, I was wrong about Trump. I burned the white dude for Harris hat. Are you still sticking with Harris?
Listen, I prefer that Kamala Harris for president right now. And honestly, I think a lot of Americans agree with me. Fox News' own polling has Donald Trump's approval rating cratering. He's negative 30% on the inflation. I think people are awfully frustrated with the leadership they're getting right now. Doesn't mean they like Democrats, but they're not happy with what they're getting.
Okay, so he just started off. You got to give the guy a shot. But you guys were so bad, he won in a landslide. Is anyone in the Democratic Party thinking maybe we could do things differently?
So we'll get to Mike's response there. But what's interesting about that is I saw a poll. I discussed this yesterday on the Live and Learn show that I do once a week with Pisco, Econoboy, and Hutch about how there was a YouGov UMass poll that asked the question, basically, if you could redo the 2024 election, how would you vote? And other polls asked that question fairly often. And up until this point, Trump had actually been winning that. As unpopular as Trump was, people were still so pissed off at the Democratic Party that they were like, oh, God, Trump sucks. But yeah, I'd still vote for Trump over the Democrat. That YouGov UMass poll is the first one that I saw that a plurality of Americans, plurality of respondents said, no, I would have voted for Kamala Harris. And that was 42 to, I believe, 35 for Trump. So it was a 7-point differential. So at this point, at least in some polls, Trump is doing so badly that, yeah, people would take Kamala Harris over Trump if they could snap their fingers and make it happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing the work of talking about how we build a new Democratic Party. Let's keep in mind Donald Trump didn't win in a landslide. He won by 185,000 votes in 3 swing states.
Well, he won every battleground. Are you saying that
Jesse,
it was close? Are you saying it was close?
He won every battleground state, but the race itself was close. I think it would be a mistake for Republicans to assume that they have a landslide. Take a look at your own polling if you don't believe me.
So let's talk about that for just a second. This is important. And again, I reference Piers because Mike is often on Piers' show. They also peddled out this notion of a landslide. So Donald Trump won all battleground states. That's true. Unlikely, but possible, right? Like it happens. But yes, the margin there, if you look at just the battleground states, was about 180,000 votes. So not at all a landslide. And then if you look at the popular vote, since Jesse Waters is talking about popularity, and obviously the popular vote is a better representation of that, he won the popular vote for the first time that he's ran for office. He's ran for president 3 times. He won in 2016, but lost the popular vote. Hillary Clinton was objectively more popular than Trump. She won by 3 million more votes. Trump lost the 2020 Electoral College and popular vote. In the popular vote, he lost by 7 million votes. So that's a landslide if you want to talk about, I mean, relatively speaking. And in 2024, Trump won the popular vote, but only by a plurality. He didn't even win a majority, and that more people voted for Kamala Harris or a third party or a write-in and together than they did for Trump himself. So, yeah, this idea that Trump won a landslide is just total bullshit. It's pure cope, and Mike Nellis is right because he has the facts and the data on his side.
Do you think it would be a mistake for Democrats to think that it was close?
Well, I think Democrats should take a sobering look at what happened in the last election. We lost to Donald Trump again, which is embarrassing because I don't think he's qualified for the job, and I don't think he's doing a good job either. We've got to do a better job of winning people back, giving them a reason to care about us, giving them a reason to believe that we're going to fight for them, help lower grocery prices, help them buy a house and retire with dignity. We didn't do that. I think we got to be sobered about that. But you guys are running around acting like you wanted a landslide that you didn't when Donald Trump is unpopular and we're facing the worst job market we've seen since the last time.
No, I mean, a landslide.
And the time before that, yeah, it is the worst job market since the last time he was president. And before that, it was since 1979. And not only is Donald Trump unpopular, he's objectively the least popular president at this point in his presidency in American history, except for one, which was Trump in term one. So yes, Trump is less popular than Joe Biden, Barack Obama, George Bush, President Clinton, Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, every president since Eisenhower, which is when I think this sort of like scientific polling was developed in the first place. So yes, it's just true. He's not some sort of overwhelmingly popular or even generally popular candidate. He has a cult of personality, but otherwise more Americans than not dislike him.
Landslide is like Nixon. It's like Reagan. We've won bigger landslides. I would agree.
Barack Obama in
I would
2008,
absolutely
that was a
agree.
landslide
Well,
election.
Reagan and Nixon had better numbers than Barack, but we don't.
But Obama had better numbers than Trump either time. What's your point? Biden had better numbers than Trump in 2020. What are you talking about? This idea that you have to go back to Reagan to see better numbers than Trump is just absurd, categorically absurd. Here's another clip. Wait a minute. Oh, all right. Looks like that was a repeat clip. I thought there was a third one there, and I think I might have deleted it. I'm like, damn, that's familiar. But all right, folks, there you have it. Mike Nellis doing Herculean work there. I mean, the last time I saw a liberal on Jesse Waters, like a really credible liberal on Jesse Waters primetime, I think it was either Tommy Vitor or John Favreau, both of whom are co-hosts on Pod Save America. They're willing to go on in studio and square off with Jesse Waters. Otherwise, it's Jessica Tarlov, who, again, just her superhuman work every single time she's on the five. But it's good. It's good that we're seeing some sort of pushback there and having a competent liberal or competent progressive, competent Democratic representative to make the case that Donald Trump is objectively unpopular, that Donald Trump, his approval rating on inflation is 30 points below water. I think Trump's inflation, if I remember correctly, Trump's approval rating on inflation now matches the worst, is comparable to the worst of Biden's approval rating on inflation, which is disaster territory. That's the sort of territory a politician wants to be in. Those jobs numbers that we saw are not going to help matters at all. 73,000 jobs created in the month of July, which is about 30 to 40,000 off of what the estimate was of 110,000. The revisions in June and May, which were even more brutal, a downward revision of 258,000 jobs, only 33,000 jobs created between the 2 months together, 19 and 14 in 2 months, a total of 33,000. Trump's economy is objectively terrible, far worse than the Biden economy that he inherited. And that's the other issue. For the second time, Trump has inherited a good economy from a Democratic predecessor and drove it into the ground with his own incompetence. I just love the fact that these facts are being conveyed to an audience that might not otherwise hear it. And Mike Nellis clowned on Jesse Waters and Trump to Waters' face on Waters' own show. Chef's kiss. Mike, if you're watching, masterclass performance. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.